Know the city. Most of you who are watching this have probably visited, but where does the name Myrtle come from? Why is it called Myrtle Beach? You might be thinking, well, there's a lot of crepe myrtles in this area, so it must be named after the crepe myrtle tree, right? Well, you're kind of right. The actual name Myrtle Beach has more to do with this woman. This is Adeline. We'll get to her later. Let's rewind a little bit and do a really quick history lesson. Before we had railroad access to this area, let's say the 1700s, this was basically a deserted beach. If anyone wanted to vacation here, they'd have to travel like frontier style, horse and wagon type thing in order to get here because it was through the wilderness. At that time it was known as Long Bay, so that's kind of the original name here. Now, in the 1700s, the Withers family owned a very large amount of land here, so technically we could have called this region Withers, due to the fact that they were the primary landowner. Now, let's fast forward a little bit and go into the 1800s. In the early 1880s, the Burroughs and Collins Company purchased much of the land from the Withers, roughly 100,000 acres, I believe. At the time, the Burroughs and Collins Company was known for turpentine and timber business, so purchasing this land was basically for the trees. Fast forward a little bit more to the very, very early 1900s, and now we have trains coming to Myrtle Beach. We have people who can get here, people who can get to the beach to vacation. At this time, everyone's calling it Newtown. Newtown. Not the most original name. So, what they did in 1907, since the town was starting to grow, they said, let's hold a contest. We'll have the community submit names, and we'll all decide what name is best for this town. One of the submissions was by Adeline Burroughs, also known as Addie at the time. Adeline was actually the widow of Franklin G. Burroughs, as seen on this riverboat right here. So she had a very tight connection to the Burroughs and Collins Company. So when she submitted the name Myrtle to the contest, it's very interesting that it was selected because this was a contest, yet the widow of the Burroughs Company won. Interesting, don't you think? Adeline chose myrtle because of the abundance of the wax myrtle tree, these very basic looking bushes that were in the area. They got their name from their waxy leaves that you would find on the plant. These were not as pretty as the crepe myrtle that we mentioned earlier in the video, but the wax myrtles were more abundant, therefore she went with wax myrtle.